The following podcast may contain spoilers.
Hello again, and welcome to another episode of the Treading the Path of Heaven podcast. Although this episode may be a special episode, as it is our first edition of Treading the Path of Hell.
Oh my god, it's so scary.
You know, usually when you tread a path, you have people to join you on that path, to walk that path, walk that way.
No, man, I wasn't reading this shit book.
I don't know. Typically, like bad cultivators typically go by themselves, or like.
I was gonna to, but there's this orc that's very praiseworthy.
Oh man, you gotta praise that orc though.
Praise the orc.
That orc. I wish I was reading Praise the Orc or Overtuned or Overgeared or all the other stuff that's coming out right now. But no, I was reading like 4 volumes of Arifureta.
At a viewer's request, listener's request, what was that listener's name?
I think it might have been Fourth Aid. I don't remember.
I don't remember, but that dude is the devil for requesting me to read this. This was awful. And the thing is, okay, let me set up Arifureta. Let me find this novel. Can you pull up the novel updates for Arifureta?
I already got it up.
Go ahead and read that out for me, please.
17-year-old Hajime Nagumo is your average everyday otaku.
Beta cuck.
However, his simple life of pulling all-nighters and sleeping in school is suddenly turned upside down when he, along with the rest of his class,
A bunch of assholes.
is summoned to a fantasy world.
Oh man, I've seen this before.
They're treated like heroes and tasked with the duty of saving the human race from utter extinction.
The human race deserves to die. Continue.
But what should have been any otaku's wet dream quickly turns into Hajime's nightmare.
Guess what?
Roast.
While the rest of his classmates are blessed with godlike powers, Hajime's job, Synergist, only has a single transmutation skill.
Transmutation's actually OP as fuck. He just sucks.
Ridiculed and bullied by his classmates for being weak, he soon finds himself in despair.
He's super weak but bitches like him for some reason. I don't know.
Will he be able to survive in this dangerous world of monsters and demons with only a glorified blacksmith's level of strength?
The answer is yes.
So that reading felt very much to me like someone watching Rocky Horror Picture with someone who knows all the secret words for the first time.
Oh, you got all the responses already like ready. You got the rice. You're just like set.
So Arifureta is the most generic bullshit I ever read in my entire life, guys. It's not even like good generic. It's bad generic. Except for the middle part. Like the middle, like 60% of the first volume is actually a good book. And then there's like everything else.
The one thought I keep having is that Fourth Aid like really might like this book and is like one of our few actual like hardcore listeners and is like ruined.
He literally
right now.
said candidate for Treading the Path of Hell, Arifureta after the first volume.
Oh yeah.
All right.
And he
all
was
right.
fucking right in every way.
Wait, so the first volume was somehow better.
Oh yeah, first volume, yeah. From like once you get past the introduction and the characters and ignore personality, and you get to the meat and potatoes after he got he got cut. What ended up happening is, okay, let me explain this main character. His name is Hajime. All right, and he's a piece of shit, but he comes from like good breeding stock. Like his mother's a video game designer and his father's a professor or something, computer programmer or something.
No, those guys sound like they're great at sex.
And he has his plans where he's like, I'm actually playing games because, you know, it's going to be my future. I'm going to go in the video game industry. That's what I'm going to do, right? So he goes to work and he goes to sleep. The only problem is our beta cup Japanese MC, and this is not a red pill. This dude is literally the worst. The prettiest girl in the class is in love with this dude and wants his dick. Her name is Kaori. She doesn't eat. She brings him food. She is interested in what he's doing. People follow him around. But because of that, everyone in his class fucking hates his guts. Classic Japanese MC, right?
Why don't you just leave me alone? You're only making it worse.
Oh man, if only he would say that. But no, he finds a way of not only getting the idol's attention, but finding a way to put down away from the idol's affections, which pisses people off even more.
Well, that's just bad precedent to set.
And then there's another guy who's good friends with this chick because she has a menagerie of assholes that follow her around.
Well, that's how the popular chick goes.
Of course. You have another chick who also secretly loves the main character. We find out about that later. Spoiler alert.
Can I just say that the assholes that surround the main girl, that is the fault of the main character. If he had balls and was dating her, she wouldn't have to put up with that shit. That is like literally his fault.
But there's one character that's going to stick out. It's a guy named Koki, and he's the stereotypical Bishonen. All right? He's good at everything. Everybody loves him, and he's super daft. Stupid as fuck. Annoying. You're going to love to hate him. You're going to hate to love him.
Okay.
Fuck that guy. Some shit happens, right? Oh, by the way, their teacher looks like them. That like she's a 25-year-old Christmas. She's a Christmas cake. Gotta have her. Also secretly falls in love with the character later. Becomes his wife.
You just described this lady as a Christmas cake. Why'd you do that?
You know what a Christmas cake is, right?
No.
That is some would say the sweetest fruit in a waifu pick simulator. It is the adult character over the age of 25 that's single. A Christmas cake. The reason being is Christmas cake after the age of 25, after December 25th, is now worthless.
Okay.
Yeah. But the Christmas cake also, basically, if you're a female and you're described as being attractive, you're going to want our main character's dick by the end of the series.
That is a troubling character. Yeah, a troubling character development.
So the reason why I hate this is it goes from being really, really shitty romantic comedy to being an awesome, gritty, brutal dungeon crawl, and then it transitions into back to romantic comedy harem. And it's brutal. Our character goes from being a beta cuck to awesome to meeting the main female heroine, a girl named Yui, a 400-year-old vampire girl he frees at the bottom of a dungeon.
Oh, but does she look like a 12-year-old?
Yes, definitely.
Well,
she looks like a 12-year-old with giant Tigo bitties who only wants his dick, but he will not give it for some reason.
I see.
She softens his pragmatism. Keep in mind, we spent hundreds of like pages of this main character being awesome in the dungeon, and then goes to crap. So let's get to like what ends up triggering this character to go from being the worst to being great. But
then back to the worst.
Yeah. So they get transferred over to the next world, and there's you discover that the gods are assholes, and they brought them over here because the humans are losing a war that they started, by the way. And they're like, go to the dungeon. The dungeon was created by these quote unquote traitors and all sorts of stuff. Come to find out, that's not true.
The humans or the gods started?
The gods.
The gods started the war. Okay.
Gods are assholes.
Okay.
All the gods are assholes.
Oh, that's concerning.
And they come there, and because they come from a better world, they have stronger souls, and thus they have better stats. Everyone has ridiculous stats. Even like the Christmas cake teacher. Yes, she doesn't have a combat class, but her special class is farmer, and she has all of the farming skills that they've never seen before. Like she has irrigation. She can fix no one will starve her around because her farming skills are so good.
You're gonna have to explain to me why is the teacher also there? Like what's
everyone in the class? They don't cover it. God said, "Hey guys, let's get these dudes. Welcome to our world now."
And so like, okay.
All right, 31 dudes. Let's go.
Well,
yeah.
Right. Here, Seth. I'll frame it a little bit to make it easier for you. First of all, this author is Japanese, so that means he attended Japanese high school, and that's the only period in all of a Japanese person's life where they get to be free or have any form of self-expression. So Japan always writes about things that happen in Japan because that's the only thing that relates to their audience,
right?
And the only important thing to Japanese people was their time in high school. So if God was going to take a group of people and transport them to another world, why would he not choose a group of Japanese high schoolers?
Okay.
Prime of their life, man. Prime of their life.
Is it not a plot device at all as to why this particular pod of folks was chosen?
It's not very important.
Fuck, man.
Maybe it is at the end, but like...
Honestly,
Random draw.
If I get to volume 7 and finish this piece of shit,
Please don't.
I could tell you.
I don't want you to.
But
Like
it
fourth
really
aid, reach out, let me know, man.
Really bad. Okay, so he's there, right? Everyone gets there. They check their stat plates. Keep in mind, the whole time, this main character is getting picked on by everyone. And they check their stat plates. Everybody has ridiculous stats. A normal human will have like 10 stats points from everything. And then like a super strong human will have 300. The max level of a human is 100, level 100. And, you know, almost no one gets there, but you can theoretically do it and all this other shit, right? And you'll see like the knights, and the knights have like 300 strength and all this other crap. And all these natural abilities they've learned. They scan Koki. Koki at level 1, keep in mind, the knight's at like level 40 and he has 300. Koki at level 1 has higher stats than that awesome knight. And like all these crazy abilities, they give him like a super holy sword that matches up with his natural ability. Everyone has ridiculous shit. One chick's a samurai, one chick's a necromancer, ridiculous abilities and stats. You know what our guy is? He's a synergist with stats of 10 and everything.
You guys can't
He's
see
a
me.
villager.
I'm just squinting my eyes and shaking my head. That's all I'm doing at this point.
Okay, so this sounds like this isn't a reincarnator per se, but pulled into another world.
This is classic Japanese story. In fact, let's play Japanese classic story.
Bingo.
The game, the bingo. You're up, Kenny.
Let's go.
All right. So they're in a class. Okay. Tell me, how many people would you think would be in this class?
30.
That's probably it. Yeah.
All right, that's
31 if you're counting the teacher.
Oh yeah. How many girls do you think there are?
15 or 16 if the teacher.
Yeah, that seems about right. Yeah.
I have not read this novel, guys. Not a page.
But basically, we check their stats. He's really shitty. They start picking on him. The teacher stands up and is like, leave him alone. I have crappy stats too. I'm a farmer. But then everybody's like sucking this woman's dick because she's a farmer. She can solve food.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's important.
That's the most important first step.
So things move on. They explain this intricate magic system and that your affinity for magic, anyone can do any magic spell, but your affinity shows that you don't need as much stuff. You don't need as big of a magic circle. You can do it faster, all the other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Only monsters can quick cast because their magic is innate and natural and a bunch of other stuff. Our character, instead of training, he barely got any stats from training. He got like a couple. And getting his ass whooped every day by the bullies.
Mm-hmm.
They literally beat him till within an inch of his life.
Well, I mean, yeah, the girl still likes him, I assume.
Yep. And he goes and he researches, and he's smart, right? He figures out some stuff. He reads about the magic. He understands the systems, all the other stuff. So he starts becoming a character. So then after a couple weeks of training, they're like, we're going to take you to the local dungeon called the Orcus Dungeon here. There's 8 dungeons on the planet. This is the first one. There's 100 levels. No one's ever gotten past like 50.
Okay.
Here. They take him to the dungeon. And they spend the night in the town before the dungeon. And while they're spending the night, and this is the trigger, guys. Kaori, the idol chick who really, really loves this character for literally no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, well, you sat there and you apologized for the old lady stopping for being beat up, and that made me fall in love with you.
I mean, like, that is sort of how love works in real life. Like, it's typically triggered by something, but that's a really dumb one.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
very
apparently
dumb.
kowtowing and getting your ass whooped for somebody, really attractive.
Panty
But
dropper.
she comes to his room in like a nightie, like wearing a nightgown and wearing a nightgown and really like really revealing. And she comes there and she's like, I had a nightmare that you were falling to your death. And keep in mind, she's the greatest cleric ever. She has nothing but healing abilities, incredible stats, whatever.
Of course.
And she's like, I'm worried I would like you to stay here, not come to the dungeon because I'm afraid you're going to die.
God,
And I
this
saw
book is
you
so
disappear.
generic.
Oh, yeah. And he's like, thank you for caring about me, and that's fine. But how about this? How about if I'm in danger, you come and save me? And I'm going to go. I'll stay in the back.
That'll work.
you and Koki and the other girl, samurai girl, and everybody who's really strong in the class can do all the stuff, and I'll just support you guys. And she's like, oh, that makes me feel better. Promise me if something happens, you'll run. And he's like, I promise. It literally reminded me of Team America. I promise I will never die.
Do you promise you'll never die? I can't promise that. I'll let you have sex with me. I promise I will never die. Is just, they're very good at writing things, those two.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And a really and then of course they have haters that were somehow in the middle of the night in the hallway watching this happen because he was stalking Kaori.
Probably jerking off.
And he was like, oh, I hate the fact. By the way, they hung out in his room for like an hour. He made her tea. It was really crappy tea. They drunk, they talked. She left in her nightie again. And he's like, I hate this guy. I'm gonna get him. That is the plan. Fast forward, they're going through the dungeon. Strangely enough, the guards are impressed because the group are slaughtering their way through this dungeon. Like it's free, just walking through these people. But they see that our main character is not as weak as they thought he was because he uses transmutation to make traps or transmute the floor that things are walking around their feet and then stabbing them and doing all this cool stuff. Things they didn't know synergists could do. Because he can do transmutation without a magic circle, which means it's the best magic. It's literally just the best magic.
So he just claps his hands together. And...
No clapping the hands.
You stop that, Bill.
This ain't Full Metal Alchemist. It's better than that. He can transmute anything. He can make anything. Which means alchemical weapons and shit. He could make that. He doesn't realize that till later, but like he makes a fucking pitfall trap, thing falls and it dies, collects some experience, they move forward. But yeah, they get to the bottom. They come across some secret thing. They didn't use the trap detectors because the dude was like, oh man, that's the prettiest gemstone I've ever seen in my life. I'll get it for you, Kaori-chan. So one of the dudes who were stalking her, mind you, it's the same hater, sees it.
29 dudes in the class.
And he doesn't die. He gets everyone in a deadly situation.
Bodied.
He touches it. It teleports them to floor 65.
Nobody's been past 50.
And literally what's ahead of them is a behemoth.
Oh, neat.
And it starts fucking them up. And it's literally one bridge, behemoth on one side, portals with a chain of skeleton soldiers go up on the other side. One staircase going up, they got to get through it.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know. That seems reasonable. Now, when you say behemoth, we talking Final Fantasy behemoth?
That's the behemoth is not exactly actually what it is. It's the only way to explain it. Final Fantasy behemoth. It's a big, four-legged, horn motherfucker, savage, can't be stopped, has innate magic, all other shit, right?
Okay.
Basically, everyone's gonna get bodied. Koki's trying to use all the special stuff. All the strong people are trying to fight it, blah, 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 blah. They're running for their lives. Everybody's panicking. The guards that are here to protect them are trying to hold it back and do other stuff. Our main character, I'm gonna skip over the shit, y'all could read it, goes, I'm gonna stop it. So he starts transmute over this thing. I'm gonna hold it here, guys. Run. Koki, he saves Koki from dying. You need to lead these people because they're in a panic and you're the leader. Use your charisma. I'll hold it here. So he has all this mana potions, using all this mana to keep it, keeps retransmuting the floor over it, and it's breaking and he's retransmuting it. Time goes by, people are just like, man, Hajime's so brave, blah, 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 blah. Use all your power, he'll run. Doesn't work. Because the dude throws a fireball at him. So while everyone's throwing all their magic at the thing, one of the guys is like, they won't notice me, and shoots a fireball at the damn dude, knocking him off
Cold
into
blooded.
the abyss underneath the bridge, and he falls. Kaori is about to jump in and save him. Like, she's going to kill herself trying to get him because she's that in love with this piece of shit. They knock her out because we need her. She's amazing. And then they leave. And they're like, he's going to die. She's like, I believe in him. Anyway, he lands at the bottom. And this is when it becomes a good book.
Yeah.
Because it suddenly stops being a generic Japanese light novel and becomes a Chinese web novel. It is a dog-eat-dog world down there. He's walking, he sees a bunch of wolves, right? There's a pack of wolves, and he's trying to hide. And these pack of wolves are hunting this little bunny. It's this cute bunny The only thing is, this bunny has this weird, like, red, like, veins running through its body. Same as the wolves, has these weird red veins running through its body, and it's glowing with power. They shoot lightning at this bunny thing, and he's like, "Oh, the poor bunny's gonna die to these wolves and get hunted."
Lightning wolves.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, this
hold
kid
on.
is fucked up. He has broken bones. One of his arms broken. He can barely move. But he's looking at this and he's hiding, and he's trying to hide his shit, right? And this bunny kicks once, breaks the head out of all, like literally snaps the neck of one of the wolves, and then uppercuts and rips the jaw open of another one of the wolves, and then laughs.
That's like the most brutal fucking thing that like I can't imagine anything more visceral than like breaking someone's jaw by just opening it.
Yes. And then it teleports because it has this cool thing called like grand step or some shit, and then breaks the neck of another wolf. And then suddenly, the whole time the rabbit and the wolf saw him, because he sucks so bad he can't hide from them. He sees it. So it walks up to him like, after biting and eating a piece of the wolf, walks up to him, about to kill him. And you see he's about to kick, and he's like, the kick is so powerful, you can see shockwaves when it kicked the wolves. And he's about to kick him, and the kick stops right in front of his face because he knew he was going to die. His head was going to literally become chunky salsa. It was going to be brutal. Because it stops because there's a bear behind him. And this bear is the lord of this floor. Like, it's insane. Everything is his prey on this floor. The rabbit is terrified, starts running. It dodges. The bear shoots this wind blade at it. It dodges. But then he looks up and sees the rabbit that was so fast he couldn't follow it and so strong it murdered everything, explode into pink mist.
So lightning wolves and wind bears.
Lightning wolves, it's more than a wind bear. It's more than that. But yeah, a bear with wind magic and a super fast, deadly kick rabbit. The rabbit explodes in the pink mist. And then the bear looks at the kid standing there, audibly laughs at him and runs at them. And Jimmy starts running.
Why
And
wouldn't you?
then before he can get to this wall, the thing throws another thing, and he doesn't feel anything, goes on the wall, looks down, sees he doesn't have an arm anymore, immediately goes into shock.
Yeah.
His
You
arm
would.
is now gone, and he looks over, and the bear is eating his arm and laughing. So he goes to a wall, puts his hand on the wall, starts transmuting a hole in the wall and covering behind him, and he transmutes until he's out of nothing, and then he passes out from blood loss. He doesn't know what happened. He's like, I'm going to die. An amount of hours we don't know about happens later, and he wakes up, and he's still alive. He doesn't understand, and he's covered in liquid. It's his blood, but it's also this interesting glowing water flowing over him.
Oh.
Because he landed near something called a sacred stone that is so rare. He doesn't know it's rare,
Of course.
but it can heal everything around him.
Oh, wow.
And but there's a limited amount of it, but it just produces this sacred water from the sacred stone. And it sustains him. Like, it heals his arm and all this
Very
stuff.
convenient.
Doesn't bring back the arm. It just stops him from dying.
That's good.
And then he spends like
Cures what ails you.
2 weeks just laying in there, wanting to die, but the water won't let him. Starting to starve, starting to run out of dehydrate, but the water won't let him dehydrate. And yes, he will still starve, but any damage caused by the malnutrition and the starving is instantly healed by the sacred water. So he's just in horrific pain.
Good.
Okay.
And he will just be in that forever.
Couldn't you just transmute like a rock or a piece of the floor to become like chicken?
Make us some bread.
No, doesn't work. He can change. It has to be something that's physically possible.
Oh,
Okay.
But yeah, he starts to go stark raving mad because of starvation and hunger. So he starts to become like a man. Like, he's crazy.
He's a man.
He gets some of the water, puts it in like a little glass thing because he's carrying some vials with him. And then with one arm, he kind of works his way through a wall. He makes a little hole. He sees the wolves hunting. And then one by one, he captures the wolves in like holes and then bring them and puts them in a little hole through a wall so they can't smell them or whatever. Like, it's real smart how he starts hunting. And he tries to stab it because he like transmutes a spear and he tries to stab it, but he's too weak because they're way stronger than him. Their skin, he can't penetrate.
Yeah.
So what he does is he makes a screw out of this staff and slowly twists the staff into their body. Takes like hours to kill this one wolf.
Horrific.
And then he eats the raw wolf blood. And then he starts to feel horrific pain. Because the thing about it here is they covered it. You can't eat monster meat. It will kill you, literally corrode your body.
But wait,
But
he
he's
has
got
the glowing
water.
water.
He got the sacred water. Yeah.
Oh, dude, this is like a totally uncheap play. Like,
Yeah, no, this is totally like the break your body, but have a thing that heals you.
Pretty much. And it starts making him strong. His body starts to overcorrect. It breaks down and he starts to become like the animals. Because he noticed that the animals were eating each other and getting stronger. He starts to get stronger from eating the animals. He starts to get veins that are red like the demon monsters. He acquires abilities, their natural abilities, by eating them and all this other stuff.
Yeah,
So
you're
he
not-
gets stronger.
You were not kidding about him becoming a Chinese main character.
Yeah, it's great. So he starts to systematically hunt all the animals. He kills the rabbits. He kills, literally, it eats it. It eats it in front of them for anger. Just, fuck them. And gets their abilities. Like, he gets, like, flash stab. He makes a gun.
He makes a gun.
He makes a gun.
Makes a
And
gun.
because he discovered when they were fighting that they chipped some of the stuff and then one of the rocks exploded. So he's like, I can use that as gunpowder. So he made a gun. He called it Donner's, a handgun, the power of a cannon, using the electrical ability he learned to magnetize, not only light the ammo, but magnetize the gun, making it a handheld railgun using his lightning clad and all this other shit.
That honestly sounds pretty neat.
Oh, yo, it's fucking awesome. And then he's like, I'm doing this so I can kill that motherfucking bear. So he has to face off with this bear.
So I could eat his arm and laugh at him.
Exactly.
And then he gains the bear's powers.
Yes.
He gets arm bear powers.
But yeah.
This story is so predictable. That sounds pretty cool, but this story is so predictable.
Yeah. It's very predictable. But it was awesome the way they set it up because he murders this bear. Like this bear fight is real. And the bear is very intelligent. So they're fighting. The bear literally he makes a flash grenade, throws it, bear gets blinded, but it's fine. He has blind fight. He can no-sell it. It's great. They have this
You
great
have
fight.
blinded me, but it doesn't matter.
For I am a bear.
And then he blew the bear's arm off and he picked up the bear, and the bear's laying there, still alive, mind you.
Yeah.
And he looks him dead in the
Of
eye.
course the bear has to be alive. There's no repentance if the bear doesn't see you eat his arm.
So he eats it, and in his mind, this is the dumbest decision I've ever made, but he does it. But the bear is so powerful that he immediately starts to corrode. So he made a fake tooth in his mouth, filled with the sacred water, bites it, lives, but is already weakened, and he's still fighting to the death with this bear, but he acquired like wind blades and all this other shit.
It's the reverse suicide capsule.
Yes. And then he kills the bear, and then he starts his conquering down to the bottom of this tower. And it is epic. It is just a fun dungeon crawl with awesome shit going on, learning new skills, discovering skills don't work here.
I feel
A
like
pitch black room, a fire room, all this other shit.
this is a lot of build up to a
But halfway down, he runs, about a third of the way down, he runs into the problem with this. A character by the name of Yui, a vampire, 40-year-old vampire, that he consciously goes, I should leave this place, leave her here, and bounce.
How old is she?
400-something years old.
Mm-hmm. And what is her body type?
She is a 12-year-old big-breasted
Of
lolly.
course she is.
Oh, yep.
The dread spectrum.
the dream of every
Fuck
Japanese
it.
man.
I could have put that in a fucking envelope, Richard.
Oh, can you guess what color her hair is?
Is it white?
Is it pink?
Purple.
You're close. It's actually a blonde.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You didn't say she was American. I'm sorry.
It's a blonde lolly. She's European.
Oh, good. No, she's a vampire. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That follows.
Yeah.
No. I've read Nagama. I understand.
And she's instantly in love with him because he used her power to save him, and she has this cool ability called she has auto regen, so she can't die, and blah 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 blah. And she needs no spell circle to instant cast and all this other shit.
And he feels comfortable liking this girl because she's so unnecessary. Like she doesn't need protection.
Oh no, that's the problem. She does need protection all the time.
Why? She can't die.
She can't die, but she needs magical powers. She's really frail. So he saves her from this ridiculous thing. He gives her sacred water. Sacred water doesn't work on her because she's a vampire. He needs to drink her blood. So she's drinking his blood while they're fighting, and he's like air stepping around, all this other shit. Anyway, fuck that. They get to the bottom. You know, they come across, they find out, they do a scene in the dungeon crawl where they find out how much she loves him because her worst nightmare is that he would leave her. Y'all have known each other like a week, dude.
Wah, 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 wah.
But it's fine. She was alone for 400 years. Whatever.
No, hers makes sense. 400 years of loneliness that is suddenly broken. I can understand why you would have a psychological imbalance towards that person.
Yeah.
This guy, however, has known this person for a week.
Yeah.
And is unable to commit to the girl who has been bringing him food and is the class idol.
Yes, exactly. Like this man throws away his life like a couple times trying to save this immortal auto-regen vampire girl who don't even lose her arm if it gets cut off. It just comes back.
Can't see how hard I'm rolling my eyes, but I can say that my eyes very much hurt.
But anyway,
Getting a workout.
Oh yeah.
Can we just edit in like a rolling noise?
I wish we could.
Can you please imagine, dear listener, that I am doing a slow jack off motion the entire time? Just a slow jack the whole time.
I know this isn't a very great episode, guys, but like it's coming to a head, and you're gonna see. They get to the bottom. They discover the secret of the world. They discover that like the dudes who made these towers weren't bad guys. They just needed someone to be strong enough, and blah 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 blah. And they weren't traitors, and the guys were traitors, and all this other shit. Join us on this quest. And by the way, this just so happens to be the tower of the one guy who was a transmuter, a godlike transmuter.
Whoa!
So he learns
transmutation was good all along.
All of the secret transmutation stuff and has access to unlimited amounts of all the books on transmutation from the guy who wrote it, and all of the rare materials.
So he's already gotten to max level, so now the rest of the story can be about stupid bullshit?
Yeah, pretty much. He is beyond max level. His stats are at like 14,000 each stat. He has every ability. He has a sniper rifle that's insane. He has a Gatling gun arm. He has a super mechanical arm that he uses for
Gatling
things.
gun arm. What happened? Why did you get a Gatling gun arm?
Why wouldn't you get a Gatling gun arm?
Why not?
No, actually, out of all the things Richard just listed, Gatling gun arm does make the most sense to me.
Yeah, no, like
I just like Final
Fantasy.
Fantasy VII a lot, though.
And he starts to each volume, instead of being about how awesome and pragmatic this character is, he's no longer awesome or pragmatic anymore. He used to be, you slight me, I kill you. Or all this other stuff. I can't let you live because you'll be a problem later. He was a Chinese MC. Miss Vampire Loli becomes his old self again.
She just sucked all the cool out of him.
And then he promises that he'll bring her back to Japan. Fuck this world. I'm not saving nothing. Fuck it. And then he goes about his time collecting waifus. Kaori starts following him.
Seriously?
He gets a rabbit girl follower who loves him.
Rabbit girl.
He gets a black dragon waifu pervert girl who follows him. He gets a fucking...
Like,
Richard, how much of this book did we make you read?
I read 4 volumes of this hot garbage, dog.
and one was the only...
Was the only good one. And
Yeah.
even then, it's only good in the middle. When Yui shows up, it is okay. And then they get to the bottom, and then it becomes like a fucking slice of life, home, fucking housewife bullshit.
So, like, I don't know if you guys have read the manga Bakuman, but it's about a pair of high school kids who want to write manga, and they end up getting a series in Shonen Jump, and it's a whole behind the scenes look about how Shonen Jump works and how like creators in Japan are like subject to like some of these like weird creative systems.
Don't they write Death Note?
Yeah, it's by the same people who made Death Note.
No, but I mean like in the story itself.
They make pseudo Death Note.
Life journal.
Yeah, it's like
Jesus.
it's like a fake autobiography that like parallels their real life. I don't think the main character made a promise with his high school girlfriend to get married, and when she voices the character in the anime of the thing he makes.
Yeah, but that sells, yo.
Yeah, no, it was a great story. I read most of it in one night. But
That's when you know. When you start a manga and then you look up and suddenly the lights are coming out.
No,
but my
the
point
sun's
being
going back
that it
down.
changed a lot of my perceptions on how Japanese authors create. and like the pressures they're subject to. So like I'm really wondering if the first part of that novel was what he actually wanted to create, and then like his editor was like, no, this is never gonna sell to the stupid kids who have money to buy one slightly erotic novel.
Yes.
We got to put in, something sexy. What are the kids like? The 400-year-old, in the 12-year-old body, but it's cool because she's 400.
She literally serves all of the wives here that he acquires, because they become wives at the end, by the way. There's just 8 of them.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, is that the editor's thing? Did he go through a bad breakup in the middle?
Character. I think it was the main writer who did this.
The main character put his will
his
into
self-insert.
Yeah.
Because I believe he wanted to make a romantic comedy, harem comedy, with a edgy main character that wasn't cringy because he had a reason to be edgy. And his main character's edgy. Like, after he ate that shit, his hair turned white. He has battle scars. He's blind in one eye, so he wears an eye patch now.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, so he's blind in one eye and is missing an arm?
Yeah.
Is he a fucking pirate?
No, he's getting a mechanical arm. It's fine. His dick still works. But he doesn't use it.
Which arm and eye did he lose?
Let's see. I think it's his
third arm and his middle
his
eye.
left arm and his right eye, I think.
Oh, it's too bad. If it was his left eye, he would have been all right.
Yeah. Oh God.
Save him for
Guys,
Bill,
what is that
Kenny.
for
Save
Bill?
him for Bill.
But yeah, he wanted an edgy character. He made an edgy character. Character lost his edge, but he still wants to be pragmatic. But his harem stops him from going over the edge because he only cares about them. But he keeps saving all the assholes.
Because his harem cares about them, I guess.
He made a tank. Before he went back up, he made an actual driving tank.
I mean, if you've got magical transmutation powers, why wouldn't you make a fucking tank? Like, I saw Community. I saw how they played the video game. That was the correct answer. You create a self-replicating set of children that can slave and create other children to make you a goddamn atom bomb.
Yeah.
You're right.
Solves the problems.
You blow up.
It's so cringy. And the thing is, I don't get, maybe someone who's listening to this, or hopefully we haven't lost you as a viewer if you like this, tell me, send me a message. Tweet me at Premium Tax, or at This Is Craven on Twitter, or tweet at Tiger Roller Coaster.
Tiger Coaster.
At Tiger Coaster. I need to know why you like this. Because it's not good. Why is it one of the most popular light novels?
Because it's literally scientifically aimed at people. The main character is weaker than everyone because people like an underdog story.
But
It's based in a Japanese high school because that's the most relatable to the audience.
Yes.
It's frustrating because once you've read enough stories, you can tell that every single piece of the story, and of course this is obviously based on what you're saying, but every single piece of the story sounds like it was crafted to be the most relatable, the most generic, the thing that would hit the most people, which is actually terrible because that's not what creates likable characters. Likable characters you relate to characters out of specificity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Think about Persona, right? Persona 5 is a waifu simulator, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
But they have every archetype of waifu, but all the archetypes are done exceptionally well. They're done well, except for a couple. I mean, I don't like An. Some people like An. That's just me. But you can appreciate because the characters have their arc and whatever. You understand the purpose, but they execute.
Yeah.
This one literally creates every single waifu archetype except all the negative qualities of every single archetype and every character. You have your sweet girl in Kaori. You have your Kudere, loves you no matter what, really quiet, overpowered vampire chick. You got your super pervy, wanna be treated, call you master, all that shit, black dragon chick who can transform. You got your feel yourself bunny chick. You got your fucking your tsundere fucking character. Literally every single one, and they're two-dimensional, and it's just bad, guys. I'm sorry. I have no redeeming qualities here. Read it for the first volume. Never read it again. Don't read the prologue. don't. As soon as they get to the bottom and they have that final fight where he gets bodied, stop reading.
That's the end of the book. Wow, you got to
That's
the end of the
the
book.
end.
Congratulations.
Man,
Turns
what
out
do
he
you mean?
actually did die from
He
the bear.
died
meat.
there. Just assume he died.
The
at
rest
that
of that
point.
was just a trip from the bear chemicals in his brain as he was dying.
This has been a solid 40 minutes of eye rolls and heavy sighs.
I'm sorry. It was supposed to be a good episode, but
No,
I hate
it wasn't
man.
supposed to be a good episode.
I like the
This was
episode. It's
set
the
out
book
to be
that
a
sucks.
bad
Yeah. It was. This was intentional. This was an intentional bad book. That's why we're here to talk about it on
But
Treading
yeah.
the Path of Hell.
For real, Richard tread this path for you guys. Don't follow him.
Yeah,
Follow
he
his
did it.
advice. Read the first book. Think about how cool it is that he's a Chinese MC, and then go read a book that has an actual Chinese MC.
Yeah,
Like
man.
Against the Gods.
Yeah, it's like, see, why couldn't it be against the God's harem building? Why it had to be this guy
Yeah.
who loses his Dao heart got shattered by blonde lolly.
I guarantee you this guy didn't carry that blonde lolly with one arm while he fought an increasingly difficult series of challenges.
Actually,
With a great sword.
he
All right.
totally did that.
With a great sword.
He was super cool. No, not with a great sword.
All right,
with
cool.
a gun.
That's less cool.
With one arm. He hit one arm though, so he's just like kind of like moving around really fast. And he unlocks Ultra Instinct. He was Ultra Instinct before Ultra Instinct was a thing. Take that, Goku.
Yeah.
Ultra instinct.
All right. So that's
I'd like to get to a little segment that I want to start doing at the end of our podcast, you guys. It's the one that I was talking about last week with the reviews. This is not a review. This is just something that someone posted in the thread that we posted last week, but it kind of sounds like a review, so I'm going to read it anyway so we can start doing this fucking segment.
Yeah.
And I really hope you, dear listener, the person listening to this, know that I swear if you post it, I'm going to read it. This guy didn't even post a review, and I'm still reading it. So please post a review. Anyway, from Twitchy Fingers on Reddit, I was expecting a very poor quality podcast made by like 16-year-olds, but I still decided to check it out. And I'm glad I did. You guys got yourself a new listener. Now, I'm not sure why he expected it to be a very shitty podcast, but I'm glad we proved him wrong.
I think that's more of like the 90% of all podcasts are shitty podcasts produced by 16-year-olds. So
I'm a
he's thrown it.
16-year-old at heart,
It's true.
and I produce it. So
Well-
he was there.
Yeah, but we don't have
Arifureta.
We don't have 16-year-old
Right
production quality level.
You're right.
Yeah.
We try.
That just reminded me.
But thank you, Twitchy Fingers. It's glad to hear you'll be listening. We'll
Yeah.
we'll look. We appreciate your support.
Yeah.
Thank you, Twitchy Fingers, and thank you for mentioning the 16-year-olds. That's who's buying this shitty fucking book.
Yeah, it's people that haven't
It's your fault.
experienced enough literature to understand that the thing they're reading has no depth.
No,
It's
it's
why
the children that
fucking
are wrong.
Trash people like Sasuke so much, and Naruto. They think Naruto's the greatest anime of all time.
We're jumping back in.
If you like Sasuke, you're the
the problem.
If you love Sasuke, you're gonna love this book.
If
Well-
you love Sasuke because you liked him when you were a teenager and it's nostalgic, you might not like this book.
Yes.
I was gonna say, because Richard might just have fucked up your day if you keep reading it like, I thought I was gonna like this book. It's really bad.
No, they might like it if they like Sasuke.
You're just judging a lot of fucking
Yes,
people
yes, I
real
am.
hard
That's because
right
he
now.
had to read three to 1 shitty to good, and that's generous.
That's true.
He's earned his judgment.
Thank you, Richard, for jumping on this grenade and treading down that path.
Yeah. If,
Next week we have not a grenade, but something I kind of teased earlier with Praise the Orc,
Woo!
which has turned out to be a surprisingly fun novel. We've had my first big plot twist, but I should have that finished up by the time we record for our next episode.
Nice.
man, orcs.
Orcs.
I love orcs.
Orcs.
I love orcs in this series. They're like great. They
orc.
Orc. But we'll talk about that next week.
Yep.
That's going to be pretty much it for this week. If you'd like to send us a message or ask us to review something, please feel
Tiger
free
Coaster
to
on
respond to
Twitter.
us on Reddit or send us to...
It's Tiger Coaster on Twitter, and it's tiger.rollercoaster@gmail.com.
We're about to have a website soon, guys.
Oh my
Just
god, it's
wait.
gonna be great.
It's
What's
coming
the
soon.
website?
I'm gonna give that out in the next
You could
episode.
tell him
No, I
we
can't.
bought it. So he's not gonna
It's a
buy it
secret.
from under us.
No.
Oh man, if you guys fucking bought it from under us, I would never forgive you.
No, actually, I'd be fine. That's a chill play. But thank you so much for listening. We do really appreciate your support. And especially after our kind of technical snafu that causes us to have a small hiatus there. But we should have this out back on schedule, and we'll be back next week with Praise the Orc.
Woo!
I am your host, Jonathan Kenny, joined by my fellow hosts.
I'm Richard.
I'm Bill.
We never did this. I'm Seth.
And
I'm
our
a
perennial
guest.
guest, Seth.
I'm not a guest, I like to say sometimes.
I mean,
I'm here every episode.
This was like the one time we played the movie
I mean, you
opener.
could
at-
self-proclaim
the movie
yourself as
title at the
something
end of
else.
the movie.
I actually I've been here for every episode, even the episode where I wasn't here. You can hear me in the background of the one episode where I wasn't here. So, I'm here for all of them, whether it's, on mic or not.
But this is going to be kind of a focused one, but we're going to close this out with our new segment.
It's treading the path of hell part. This is the part where your feet burn. So tell me some other books that you really fucking hated.
Oh, I was going to go with we didn't even get to talk about, but yeah, sure.
Oh no, we didn't even get to talk about is not a great segment for this because only Richard has stuff to talk about.
That's
for
why
this
I was saying it was
And
going to be
even-
kind of focused, yeah.
And even then, he wouldn't really want to talk about it because he's like, I'm done talking about
I
it.
I mean,
didn't
you could
even-
do I'm never going to have to read again.
Ooh, okay,
But,
yes. No, let's do that segment. We didn't even get to talk about but.
I'm never gonna have to read again. Stupid technobabble about how his shitty fucking guns work. They go boom and they explode, dude. I don't care about the minerals. I don't give a shit about the chitin from the scorpion. I don't give a fuck about this interesting chemical you picked up 20
But
minutes
it's an
ago.
interesting chemical, Richard.
But you didn't mention it when you grabbed it, you motherfucking retroactive piece of shit.
I never got to
You're
read
never gonna
again.
have to read about.
I'm never gonna have to read about how beautiful blah 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 is. Oh my god, she's too good for me. I wish she'd leave me alone.
Oh, wait, this
I'm a
isn't
cup.
this isn't a Chinese book, so she's not going to be described as fairy-like ever.
You're never going to have to read about?
I'm never gonna have to read about him having to hold in. Man, she's so attractive. I want to touch her naked body, but I can't really do that, man. That'd
I
probably
just
be
wish you'd leave me
illegal.
alone.
But she is 400 years old, so it'd be okay. But I can't.
But she is 400. The justification of every Japanese MC. But she is 400 years old.
But in the last one, Richard, you were never going to have to read about.
I'm never gonna have to read about dumbass fellow class members being like, I don't understand what happened to that loser Nagumo. Hajime-kun sucks. Why do I suck? You were designed to suck. All of you are assholes. You are one-dimensional characters designed to suck. You're the reason why they always put the main character in the back corner of the motherfucking classroom so they don't have to draw your worthless ass.
We needed to have 14 foils for our main character.
That's the only way we can make this character interesting.
Literally.
14 people that hate him.
He's so bad that they had to make characters that are designed to be assholes to make you like this piece of shit.
Hey,
Man.
he's the
Holy
best
fuck.
guy.
I'm so glad we got boom mic so we can
thank you,
smack the
guys.
table.
We'll see you next week with the Treading the Path of Heavens on Praise the Orc. This has been Treading the Path of Hell.
That was lightning.
Tiger Roller Coaster Productions. Tigers are scary. You try to get off.